She works hard for the money, so hard for you, honey. Good morning, World War III. How's everybody doing out there? Remember, America is not under siege. No. America is being blessed. But what does under siege mean? Does it mean your rights are taken away? No. What rights? How can they take away something you can't get rid of? I mean, your God-given rights. God-given. Now, some people don't believe in God, but they still got their God conditional. You know, it's like natural. It's natural rights. Rights to, soundball peacefully. A right to vote for who you think is the best. As long as you're cognitively aware. Everybody knows if you're sick, you have like a psychosis of some sort. In a lot of states, you can't vote because it's against the law. So, like, if you had a guardian and you were over 18, you can't. You're not qualified to vote. So, if they're saying that people who are Trump supporters are crazy, they're basically saying you're a lunatic. And lunatics don't have the right to vote. But you could be an alien from another country and vote in small elections, maybe in big elections one day. We don't know if it's going to lead to that. Some think so. But not me. I go with the crowd. But anyway, it's not. So there's always a catch-22 to most rules. I don't know why, but for some reason we always leave those catch-22s in there. Could get us in trouble one day. Yeah, they could say, like, you guys just don't understand reality the way we do. If we understood reality, yeah, we wouldn't be in so many different problems. So they merely want to silence the madness and bring forth what? I don't know. They're mad. I mean, is it madness to vote for somebody that somebody else doesn't approve of, even though they don't really have evidence or evidence that they can show you? Once I was in a hospital situation, and they said, one of the staff members said that Trump was like Hitler. Now, in a matter of a mental situation that everybody was in on this unit, it's a unit or a group. And I think I was on Act A at the time, which I called the A-Team, or the Special Forces of it all. But the point of it is, okay, whether you're Special Forces or you think you are, but you know you're not, and no you're not doesn't matter. I mean, now some people say, well, yeah, I'm crazy, but I'm not stupid. Now that's a very wide. Now in Michigan here, you can vote. If you have a mental illness, you can vote. Even if you have a guardian, you can vote. So, yay for Michigan. Now some states, if you have a guardian and they could say you're not capable of voting. Well, guess what? You cannot vote in that state. Now, is that saying that nowadays that the mental health system would kick in its full power and say, well, you guys are just too goofy to understand? They could say you're beyond the scope of the movement of being awake. See, because we're more in the subconscious mind. They're more in the conscious mind. They're more aware of what's going on than us subconscious realities. So, does that mean that your vote don't count? It could mean that. We could all be living in a process to see how we vote, just to see if we can muster up the strength to vote every year just to see which way we would vote. I mean, if you had no rights at all, if rights were just something that, are given to you by the government, then when you go to vote, maybe those who are crazy think they can vote, but then they really can't vote because so they go and they have like mock elections just to see what you would do. See how smart you've become, how aware or how conscious you've become to reality. Maybe one day I tell you, look, you've been voting for 30 years, we got all your voter cards right here, and all we're trying to do is see how well you're doing psychologically. Your whole life could be a what do they call that? A simulation. But not a simulation by a computer, no. Simulation by, government, business, It's weird how businesses and government work hand in hand sometimes. I mean, we get excited about that. We're glad to be holy rollers. You can see all the holy rollers on my screen. They're just excited for Jesus. And yeah, maybe you are in a simulation because, you can't really believe in God and not be in a simulation. See, we're merely a function of reality. We wish we were more into coping with reality. Even Stephen Hawking thought sometimes that he was in a simulation. Before he died, he says, maybe this is all a simulation, man. Maybe our life is one big simulation. TV could be just a stimuli to see how you would function, or you connect yourself to this thing called technology and information, and then you make sense of this information, and then you put down who you would vote for, and then they can measure how well you're doing in this simulation of government. Now this year, they claim that more people have voted than any other election in time. But did you know that the Chinese have over 2 billion soldiers? 2 billion. They got more just soldiers than we have in our population. Almost over double our population in just their army. So they could just send over 1 billion people to the United States, overwhelm us with their forces. I guess if they all came down in parachutes, it would be tough to get 1 billion of them down. I guess it's possible. I don't know. I know. What would you do with 500 million? Even if they came over and we arrested them all, we wouldn't have enough prisons to hold all these soldiers. It would be a mess. They could come over here and surrender, and we'd be in trouble. Because we can't kill them, so what do we do with them? We try to brainwash them and make them Americanos. Americano, Americano. See, we have taken all kinds of precautions. And then they got the wheel inside the wheel way up in the middle of the air. Now we know that some guy in the Old Testament, he was Ezekiel. Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the air. Now, is this stuff going to happen in the future? Did he see the wheel come down? Then he saw it landed. The wheel has landed. Where did this happen to Ezekiel? In his backyard, with hanging out around Israel or something? Yeah, this wheel inside the wheel always coming around, man. Ezekiel saw it, man. It's like, hey, you guys are something coming around in your wheel inside a wheel, man. Well, I just want to tell you, God loves you, and so do I. Remember, it's not who you know, it's where you go. It's not where you go, it's what you'll be. And what are you? What you be or what you do? Is what you be, what you do, or are you an actor on the stage just getting along? Do you care about your conscious thoughts? Someone tell you you're not really thinking. Is that going to disturb you and make you think that you're not really thinking when you think you're thinking? And then someone says, no, you're really not thinking because I thought of you. I knew what you were going to do before you did it. Does that mean you don't think? Or are you thinking slower than you realize? It's possibility. All these are possibilities in the realm of light. In the realm of light, anything's possible, but only the truth shall prevail. See, think of this part right here. This is a small thing. the universe was so small. But then when it expanded from every direction. Like if the universe was inside my head and expanded, then I could measure out from it and I would see the past. Isn't that weird? Because I'm seeing what's out there, the same thing what they would be seeing if they looked this way, the past. So if everywhere we look is the past to us and the future to them from outside of us, it'd really be the past to them, but it would be our future. So really the only thing that really exists is the moment or the present. That's why it's a gift. Because we realize that time is a dimension. And we're traveling through it at lightning speed. I mean, it's going faster than light. Because if light was going as fast as the expansion of the universe, light would be everywhere. Now, it could have bent in. But then it'd be sucking light out of the sky back into its spot. So that's not happening. Light is still progressing. But yet, space is beyond that. Or we call it dark matter and dark energy are two separate things. Dark matter is less massive. I think dark matter is less massive in the sense of quantity pressure because it let loose the dark energy is what I'm saying. See, now the earth, the things that we call solid, like dark matter or matter, we know matter as our matter. Like the earth is made out of matter, you're made out of matter. Dark matter is a little different. It's a little lighter than what we consider matter. It's lighter because you know what escaped from dark matter? Dark energy. It's the gravity. The gravity has escaped the dark matter. And now it's dark energy. So it goes out. Well, gravity pulls us in like a black hole. Gravity tends to do this. Dark matter tends to do that. Out. You know, out with dark matter, in with gravity. It's like breathing. You breathe in and you breathe out. Okay, but it's all happening in time. And as we figure out these things, we start to realize that these things made sense. Because in goes oxygen, out goes carbon dioxide. And when we're trying to breathe and trying to think and trying to be, we have to know some reality. Now, is our reality deeper than other people's reality? Are we trying to become something we're not, or are we just who we are? I think the movie would be a great thing. I mean, mental illness, you know, the former protection of hope is mental health. Now, they might say, well, Hitler wasn't really very good mentally. But he was also a good strategist. Just because you can play chess or a computer can play chess does not mean that it's a nice computer, right? You know, a lot of people that are not very nice can play a good game of chess. So what does it mean to be nice? What does it mean? Where does evil come into all this? Maybe, you know, they don't see it as evil. They think, well, God doesn't exist and there's no meaning to life. All these different things that we like to call excuses or reason to do bad things to people. We have to separate ourselves from certain norms of freedom of others to hurt them. You would have to free your mind from, you know, God. You could not believe in God and be a good person. Because you just like to be good or you want to be good. Good is good and that's all right with me. You like to wave your arms around and fly like a bird. But really, do we have purpose? Are we want to, and then when we do something wrong, and then that person says, why did you do something wrong? Why didn't God stop you? And then they don't believe. You got another one not believing. So is it all in, you know, do we all have to be believers to save the world? Maybe we have to understand what believing is. Maybe believing starts with an understanding. So maybe I understand something about believing that you don't understand. And maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you're a lot smarter than me. Maybe you realize that the universe is made from nothing. It started with nothing, and then it came out of nowhere and created us. And then we die, and we become nothing, but nothing's done with us because we're the nothing that doesn't exist. We're the nothing that doesn't exist that created everything. Obviously, nothing created everything, right? So if nothing, empty space has created everything, look how much hope we have to stay alive. I mean, are we always alive? Did we always be? Were we some kind of creature that lived inside a fish, inside a man's, and it had to find its way like a submarine to to its nesting place? Or is it merely just trigonometry again, playing tricks on us? Is life a bunch of numbers and realities, like ones and zeros, or a bunch of ones and zeros? And we're all just zeros and ones. Now, we could be like on and off switches. Switch on, switch off, switch off, switch off, switch off, switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. Now, when this switch is on and that switch is off, I could be on and off at the same time. Oh, I'm like a quantum computer. I could be on and off at the same time, man. And what is the link between one person that has a chip in their head and the other one? You know what those chips are made of? You could say, let's say you got a chip in your head. It's made out of an entanglement of another matter entangled with a matter millions of miles away, millions of light years away, and instantaneously we know what we're saying to each other because we have a connection. We have a connection, and this connection keeps us connected outside of what we understand as time, space, and matter. Because if time, space, and matter was like so small, like you'd hold it between these two fingers, because in between this finger and my thumb, it seems like there's no room for anything. But there is. My fingerprint's in there, and there's a lot of, no matter how much I press and squeeze, I can't get all of it out. So no matter how much you suck, there's something there. But we know that when something was there, and then we got rid of it, And now when you pass on or die, there's nothing left to you. If there's nothing left to you, then you're gone. So try to be good to one another while this little time we have together. Some people could feel that way. Isn't that okay, I guess? I mean, or is it not okay to feel that way? Is it bad to think there's not a God? Should we focus on God not being? Is that our hope to survival? Is our hopes to survive is to believe in God and only listen to what the Pope says? Because the Pope knows best when we're lost in the wilderness. And are we lost in a wilderness? Are we lost in our own confusion? Are we hoping that one day someone will make sense that we can understand? Is the concept of God just too deep for us to even ponder? Are we done pondering about anything, or is everything all fact-based? It's still a fake base. It's still fake news. So what is fake news? Is it people who are lying all the time? Lie, lie, lie. Kick them in the eye. Eye. Kick them in the other eye. And then we're blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche and a rummer in the night. Some manager mister told me I got what it takes. The genuine son and something strong with the song with the funky break. Miss I was checking out the village I'd seen if it was safe outside. And little Willie Burley came by in his curly whirly and asked me if I needed a ride. 'Cause he was blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche and the rummer in the night. Some silly little sisters in a manager mister told me I got what it takes. Yeah. Are we trying to create the movie or the idea of the movie? Are we trying to be in the movie? Do we want this movie to exist so we can reflect on the madness that's inside us all? And this madness that's inside us all might just be hunger. Our flesh maybe doesn't know the difference between right and wrong or good and bad or whatever you want to call it. It just hungers. It's like this creature that we live in that it's creatureable and preachable. It's willing to lay down and die for the fellow man. Are we capable of love? Do we focus on the little bit of love or the lot of love that nations can bring together? Do we have to have a world leader? Or do we think that we all should lead by the seat of our pants? Do we believe in freedom? Are we a free country? These inevitable rights that we have. Inevitable rights. Do we believe that these rights are given to us by not man, but by, well, nature, God? I call it God, you call it nature. Let's call the whole thing off. Remember, because that's what the world wants to do. It wants to shut down and then reappropriate reality. Reappropriate. Make what seems to be what it's not. You are looking at a simulation. You are over here and I am over there, maybe. If I'm over there and you're over here and there's some kind of twinkle and tata, in this twinkle and tata, I got to get into mumu mumata, adisiki botorita, marita tita ika. Now remember, one dream for every reality. Two realities for every dream. How many dreams are in a reality? Is reality a bunch of dreaming? Are we dreaming of a better reality? We should think on the positive, but how positive is positive? Is it charged? Does it cost $6 a gallon to be positive? Or does it cost $6 a gallon for gas and only $5 an hour to be positive? This is Frank Rubino signing out with a tune from the oldies. Only the oldies. Wake up, Sally. Get out of my brass bed. I've been trying all day long. It's food from you. Wake up, Sally. Why do you sleep to noon? God bless you, people. God bless.